Welcome. Today we are looking at the call of Isaiah and Jeremiah. This is a key topic in your CRS exams for SS2. Pay close attention. Let us begin. First, let me give you the background to the prophetic ministry in Israel. The period of the prophets came after the division of the kingdom. The northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah had turned away from God. The people worshipped idols. They practiced injustice. They oppressed the poor. They ignored the Sabbath and the laws of God. God raised up prophets to call the people back to himself. The prophets spoke God's words to the people. They warned of judgment. They also promised hope and restoration. Two of the most important prophets were Isaiah and Jeremiah. Both were called by God in powerful visions. Both faced difficult missions. Both spoke to a people who refused to listen. Let us now turn to the call of Isaiah. The book of Isaiah chapter 6 records his call. It was the year that King Uzziah died. Uzziah had been a good king for many years, but he became proud and was struck with leprosy. His death marked the end of an era. There was political uncertainty. In the midst of this, Isaiah saw a vision of the Lord. He saw the Lord seated on a throne, high and exalted. The train of his robe filled the temple. Above him were seraphim. These were angelic beings. Each seraph had 6 wings. With 2 wings they covered their faces. With 2 wings they covered their feet. With 2 wings they were flying. They called out to one another, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of his glory." The sound of their voices shook the doorposts. Smoke filled the temple. Isaiah was overwhelmed by this vision. He cried out, "Woe to me! I am ruined, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips. And my eyes have seen the King, the Lord Almighty." He recognized his own sinfulness. He also recognized the sinfulness of his people. He knew that no one could see God and live. Then one of the seraphim flew to him. The seraph carried a live coal that had been taken from the altar. He touched Isaiah's mouth with it. He said, "See, this has touched your lips. Your guilt is taken away, and your sin atoned for." This was the cleansing. God removed Isaiah's sin. He made him clean. Then Isaiah heard the voice of the Lord. God asked, "Whom shall I send? And who will go for us?" Isaiah responded, "Here am I. Send me." He was willing. He volunteered. He did not know what the mission would cost him. He simply said yes. The Lord gave him his mission. He said, "Go and tell this people, be ever hearing, but never understanding. Be ever seeing, but never perceiving. Make the heart of this people calloused. Make their ears dull and close their eyes. Otherwise they might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their hearts, and turn and be healed." Isaiah asked, "For how long, Lord?" The Lord answered, "Until the cities lie ruined and without inhabitant, until the houses are left deserted and the fields ruined and ravaged." Isaiah was called to preach to a people who would not listen. His message would harden their hearts. Judgment would come. Isaiah's call teaches us several lessons. First, God is holy. The seraphim cried out, "Holy, holy, holy." God is completely pure and separate from sin. Second, humans are sinful. Isaiah recognized his own uncleanness. Third, God provides cleansing. The seraph touched Isaiah's lips with a live coal. His sin was taken away. Fourth, God calls and sends. Isaiah volunteered. "Here am I. Send me." Fifth, the mission may be hard. Isaiah was called to preach to a stubborn people. Judgment would come. Yet Isaiah remained faithful for decades. Let me now walk you through the call of Jeremiah. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, records his call. Jeremiah was a priest from the town of Anathoth. He was young when God called him. The word of the Lord came to him. God said, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." This is a powerful statement. God knew Jeremiah before he was born. God had a plan for his life. God appointed him to be a prophet, not just to Israel, but to the nations. Jeremiah responded, "Alas, sovereign Lord, I do not know how to speak. I am too young." He felt inadequate. He felt unqualified. He had no experience. He was not an eloquent speaker. But God did not accept his excuses. The Lord said to him, "Do not say, 'I am too young.' You must go to everyone I send you to and say whatever I command you. Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you and will rescue you." God commanded Jeremiah not to use his age as an excuse. God promised to be with him. God promised to rescue him. Then the Lord reached out his hand and touched Jeremiah's mouth. He said, "I have put my words in your mouth. See, today I appoint you over nations and kingdoms to uproot and tear down, to destroy and overthrow, to build and to plant." God gave Jeremiah his message. The message had two parts. First, judgment, to uproot, tear down, destroy, and overthrow. Second, restoration, to build and to plant. Jeremiah's ministry was very difficult. He preached judgment to a stubborn people. He was rejected by his own family. He was beaten and put in stocks. He was thrown into a muddy cistern. He was accused of treason. He watched Jerusalem fall to the Babylonians. Yet he remained faithful. He never stopped preaching God's message. He also preached hope. He prophesied that after 70 years, the people would return from exile. He spoke of a new covenant that God would make with his people. In Jeremiah 31, he said, "The days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the people of Israel and with the people of Judah. I will put my law in their minds and write it on their hearts. I will be their God, and they will be my people. For I will forgive their wickedness and will remember their sins no more." Another key aspect of Jeremiah's call was the sign of the almond tree and the boiling pot. The Lord asked Jeremiah, "What do you see?" Jeremiah said, "I see the branch of an almond tree." The Lord said, "You have seen correctly, for I am watching to see that my word is fulfilled." The almond tree is the first tree to blossom in spring. It was a sign that God's judgment would come quickly. Then the Lord asked again, "What do you see?" Jeremiah said, "I see a boiling pot tilting away from the north." The Lord said, "From the north, disaster will be poured out on all who live in the land. I am about to summon all the peoples of the northern kingdoms." This referred to the Babylonians, who would invade from the north. The signs confirmed that judgment was certain. Now let me compare the calls of Isaiah and Jeremiah. Both prophets had dramatic encounters with God. Isaiah saw the Lord in the temple. Jeremiah received the word of the Lord directly. Both felt unworthy. Isaiah said, "I am a man of unclean lips." Jeremiah said, "I do not know how to speak. I am too young." Both were cleansed and commissioned. Isaiah's lips were touched with a live coal. Jeremiah's mouth was touched by the Lord's hand. Both were sent to a people who would not listen. Isaiah was told that the people would not understand. Jeremiah was rejected and persecuted. Both preached judgment and hope. Isaiah spoke of the coming Messiah. "Unto us a child is born." Jeremiah spoke of the new covenant. Both were faithful to the end. What lessons can we learn from these calls? First, God knows us before we are born. He has a plan for our lives. Second, God qualifies the called. He does not always call the qualified. Isaiah and Jeremiah felt unworthy, but God equipped them. Third, the mission may be hard. Faithfulness does not guarantee popularity or success. Jeremiah was rejected and persecuted, yet he remained faithful. Fourth, God promises his presence. He said to Jeremiah, "I am with you and will rescue you." Fifth, our response should be like Isaiah's. "Here am I. Send me." A common exam question asks you to describe the call of Isaiah. Here is a sample answer. Isaiah saw the Lord seated on a throne, high and exalted. Seraphim called out, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty." Isaiah cried out that he was a man of unclean lips. A seraph touched his mouth with a live coal and said his sin was atoned for. Then Isaiah heard the Lord say, "Whom shall I send?" Isaiah answered, "Here am I. Send me." The Lord sent him to preach to a people who would not listen. Another exam question asks you to discuss the call of Jeremiah. Here is your answer. The word of the Lord came to Jeremiah. God said, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." Jeremiah said he was too young. God told him not to say that. God touched his mouth and said, "I have put my words in your mouth." God appointed him to uproot, tear down, destroy, overthrow, build, and plant. God showed him the signs of the almond tree and the boiling pot, symbolizing the coming judgment from the north. Another exam question asks you to compare the calls of Isaiah and Jeremiah. Here is your answer. Both prophets saw visions of God. Both felt unworthy. Isaiah said he had unclean lips. Jeremiah said he was too young. Both were cleansed and commissioned. Isaiah's lips were touched with a live coal. Jeremiah's mouth was touched by God's hand. Both were sent to a stubborn people. Isaiah was told the people would not understand. Jeremiah was persecuted and rejected. Both preached judgment and hope. Isaiah spoke of the coming Messiah. Jeremiah spoke of the new covenant. Let me give you a quick summary. Isaiah was called in the temple. He saw the Lord high and exalted. He felt unclean. A seraph touched his lips with a live coal. He responded, "Here am I. Send me." He was sent to preach to a people who would not listen. Jeremiah was called as a young man. God said he knew him before birth. Jeremiah felt too young. God touched his mouth. He was appointed to uproot and tear down, to build and plant. He was shown the almond tree and the boiling pot as signs of judgment. Keep reviewing. Keep practicing. See you in the next topic.